So it's a distracting world out there. There's a lot going on. Some call it a VUCA world: volatile, uncertain, chaotic, ambiguous. And in a VUCA world, being able to maintain your focus is really critical. So let's talk about what it takes for you and for your employees to hold their focus about the stuff that matters. So where would I start with this? Well, the first is, let's get real about multitasking and just how impossible it is. Now, I know everybody's heard this and they go, yeah, multitasking, you can't do it. And then you secretly say to yourself, but I can kind of do it because I kind of do it all the time and I seem to be doing okay. But here's the insight about multitasking. First of all, ironically, the people who multitask the most are the worst at multitasking. It's one of the few things in the world, perhaps the only thing in the world, that the more you do it, the worse you get at it. In part because it takes you so long to actually recover, re-engage, and begin the next task. Let's see what you can do to eliminate multitasking and have the courage to do that and not kid yourself that somehow you're being uber productive by the whole multitasking thing. You're not. The second thing I would say to you is this: if you want to not multitask, if you want to maintain your focus, stop relying on willpower to do that, but use your environment to make it easy for you. So when you sit down to do a task, how will you arrange your environment so that you are not distracted? What will you put away? How will you remove yourself from the pathway of people stopping in to talk to you and hide yourself in a corner? I remember reading Chip and Dan Heath when they were writing one of their books. They went out and bought a laptop that had no Wi-Fi, so they couldn't actually access the internet, so that they could stay focused on writing their book. It's one of those just key insights about change and self-management that if you're trying to rely on your willpower, you'll almost certainly fail. The third thing I would offer up here is just to get clear around your great work and what your great work project is. When you're connected to great work, the work that has more meaning, the work that has more impact, you've got more of a drive to actually focus on the thing that matters, and that's going to work. And that brings me to my fourth and final point around here, which you've heard me say perhaps on other podcasts, which is the power of a mindfulness practice. That could be meditation, it could be something else. But there's so much science now that says those people with a mindfulness practice are better able to focus, have high emotional intelligence, they like themselves more, they like other people more. It really is a silver bullet practice. So if you want to build your focus muscle, a mindfulness practice, just 5 or 10 minutes every morning, get an app, there's tons of them out there, download one that you like, will actually help bring a sense of focus. You know, when we talk about great work, we actually say there are 3 core attributes you need to do more great work. There's focus, there's courage, and there's resilience. Resilience is to keep going when things get tough. Courage is a willingness to start the great work. But focus is the starting point. And if you can't bring focus to the work that you do, you're never going to truly flourish in this chaotic and complicated world. Something magical happens as soon as you hit the subscribe button. Okay, not magical per se, but it's a great thing to do. You get all the videos as soon as they're released.